Arabic is now the native language of hundreds of millions of people worldwide. The Arabic script is also the second most widely used alphabet in the world, following the Latin script. While Arabic enjoys considerable prestige today, its development remains shrouded in mystery. Was Arabic truly born on the Arabian Peninsula? How did its alphabet evolve? Did Arabs know how to write before Islam? Arabic serves as the official language across all the countries of the Arabian Peninsula. However, contrary to popular belief, the peninsula has witnessed a remarkable linguistic diversity throughout the centuries, and Arabic was not always the dominant language. Today, I invite you on a journey down memory lane to explore the origins of the Arabic language. 3,000 years ago, the peninsula was home to various kingdoms, including the renowned realm of the Queen of Sheba, as well as numerous nomadic tribes. Recent discoveries reveal that these people had a writing tradition. It is generally accepted that writing emerged in Arabia around 1000 before the Common Era. The earliest traceable documents originate from ancient Yemen. However, much like these writings were not in the Arabic language we know today, they were not written in the Arabic script either. The script that was used is what historians call ancient South Arabian script, an offspring of the Proto-Sinaic script that emerged in the Sinai region towards the end of the second millennium before the Common Era. Although it has since vanished, the Proto-Sinaic script gave rise to several derived alphabets, including the Phoenician alphabet, which spread throughout the Mediterranean as Phoenician merchants embarked on their journeys. This, in turn, led to the creation of numerous other writing systems, such as the Greek and Aramaic alphabets, along with various scripts that left their traces in the Arabian Peninsula. Today, it is believed that the ancient South Arabian script primarily served to write languages spoken in southern Arabia, including Sabaean, the language of the Kingdom of Sheba, but also Katabonic, Hadramotic, Minian, or the Gez language of present-day Ethiopia, while the ancient South Arabian script still survives in its evolved form today in Ethiopia and Eritrea, where it is primarily used to write Amharic. It had disappeared entirely from the Arabian Peninsula by the 6th century of the Common Era. But the southern tribes of Arabia were not the only ones who knew how to write. Even in northern Arabia, several peoples had a writing tradition long before the advent of Islam, as evidenced by relics discovered in oases such as Daden, today known as Al-Ula, or the oasis of Taima. These tribes could write, but they were using the ancient North Arabian script, which also evolved from the Proto-Sinaic script. Even though they inhabited the Arabian Peninsula, these peoples too did not speak Arabic as we know it today. Actually, the dialect spoken in the Taima oasis shows more similarities with Hebrew and Aramaic, suggesting a linguistic continuum extending from the Mediterranean to northern Arabia. But does this mean that there is no trace of Proto-Arabic before the advent of Christianity? Well, not exactly. Safaitic and Hismaic, which were spoken in the Levant region and northwestern Arabia, share striking characteristics with Arabic. This could indicate the emergence of an initial dialectal continuum, leading to the development of the Arabic language as early as the first millennium before the Common Era. This shows that the inhabitants of the peninsula from north to south were already literate well before the Arabic alphabet even came into existence. Furthermore, these peoples would use similar scripts to write different languages, although they may have belonged to the same linguistic continuum. Some relics also show that certain nomadic peoples in Jordan were familiar with Greek, as evidenced by some graffiti that were written in the Greek alphabet, These multiple influences contradict the idea that the peoples of Arabia had very little external contact before the advent of Islam. The transition to what we call Arabic seems to have occurred with the establishment of the Nabataean kingdom in the 3rd century before the Common Era. While the origins of the Nabataeans remain unclear, we know that they were a group of Arabic-speaking merchants, initially nomadic and later sedentary, settled in what is now Jordan, northern Saudi Arabia, and southern Syria. They were already known to Greek and Latin authors before our era simply because they traded goods from prosperous Arabia, present-day Yemen, with the provinces of the Roman Empire. Located at the crossroads of the major trade routes of the time, the Nabataeans were influenced by various foreign cultures, particularly Aramaic. After establishing the kingdom, they chose Aramaic as the administrative language. Although they were Arabs, the Nabataeans opted for another language for administration. At first glance, this may seem a little bit odd. However, at the time, the Nabataeans did not yet have their own script. In this context, it's no wonder that the Nabataeans opted for Aramaic as their administrative language. However, as time went on, Nabataean Arabic started making its way into their documents with formulations and certain words borrowed directly from Arabic. Eventually, the Nabataeans developed their own alphabet derived from the Aramaic script to write their own language. This shift occurred as early as the 2nd century before the Common Era, possibly due to their increasing prominence in the region. Now, the question that arises is the following. How did the formal transition from Nabataean Aramaic to what we consider Arabic today take place? Under the rule of Roman Emperor Trajan, the influence of Petra, the Nabataean capital, started to wane, and the Nabataeans lost their independence when the kingdom was absorbed into the Roman Empire and officially became the province of Arabia Petraea in 106. The Nabataeans continued to live under Roman domination and even embraced Christianity in the 4th century. However, even after the downfall of the kingdom, the Nabataean writing and the use of Nabataean Aramaic persisted in northern Arabia and even became more and more prominent. One significant piece of evidence is the Namara Inscription, an epitaph discovered in Syria in 1901. Dating back to 328, the epitaph refers to a king named Malqais, or Amr al-Qais, the son of Amru, who proudly referred to himself as the king of all the Arabs. Although the alphabet used is the Nabataean script, the language itself is Arabic, with the exception of the word bar, son, in Aramaic. This inscription is often regarded as a late version of the Nabataean script transitioning into the Arabic script. It does seem that the period from the 3rd to the 5th century played a pivotal role in the shift from Nabataean Arabic to the Arabic language as we know it today. During this transitional phase, the Arabic script started to spread across northern Arabia. Our knowledge about this period remains limited. The graffiti and epitaphs that were found only provide brief glimpses into Arabic as it was at the time. Most of these relics consist of personal names and short blessings, often associated with the Christian faith. While there is no definitive evidence ruling out pre-Islamic pagan worship in Arabia, the latest inscriptions discovered since the 2010s are predominantly connected to Christianity, as evidenced by the presence of crosses of most of the relics. This indicates that despite losing their former prestige, the Nabataeans continued to write and contribute to the development of Arabic. Although these inscriptions are short, they demonstrate that Arabic writing had reached its full maturity by the late 5th and early 6th centuries. While the emergence of Islam and the written compilation of the Quran served as significant milestones in the development of classical Arabic, the Arabs already possessed a centuries-old tradition of written texts in religious and administrative contexts. We can thus conclude that the Arabic language evolved from a variety of dialects, most of which were written using different scripts, from Proto-Sinaic and Aramaic to even Greek, before the Nabataean influence paved the way for the development of the Arabic language as we know it today. Many unanswered questions remain, and there are countless more discoveries to be made. One might wonder, for instance, why the Arabic script spread and eventually replaced the indigenous Arabian scripts that had been in use for over a millennium. Despite this, recent findings offer a clear understanding of the gradual development of the Arabic language throughout the centuries. This is the end of the video. I hope you found it interesting and learned something new. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and write a lovely comment down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!